live. There we
are live. There we are.
Only 30 minutes late because I was very late.
Oh, it happens. It's all good.
I was like, oh, it is 2:30 right now. I live about an hour from here. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to make it there on time because I'm soaking it down. So
Anyway.
We're here.
Yeah.
Just a little late. Oh, did we want to do Instagram live today too? I don't know.
Yeah, we're already late.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. This is just a chaotic book discussion because we don't have an activity for today.
We don't.
We didn't advertise this book very well. That's also on me. I made like one post about this. So
we didn't.
If you haven't read the book, or you didn't know we were reading this book, I'm so sorry. But this is what we will be discussing.
This is the book. It's humid today. My hair won't do anything. It's bugging me.
We are driving the struggle bus off a cliff today.
It is. I should have just put it up and then I wouldn't have to deal with it. Well, I'd still be dealing with it.
Thanks.
Hey.
Hi. We hadn't really said a whole lot to each other. We just hopped on here. And...
Yeah. So, here we are. All right, what we are here for, Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, which was my pick for October, right? Yeah, we're... I don't even know anymore. So, yeah. So, it is about Montserrat, who is a sound editor. This is set in Mexico City in the early 90s. And she's a sound editor for film, kind of struggling. It's a boys' club. She doesn't get respect, all of that jazz. And her best friend, Tristan, who is a aging former soap opera star. And they get pulled into helping this old director, Abel, I still can't pronounce his last name, into completing a film that was never finished. And he believes it was cursed and his luck was bad after that. And his career just went downhill. And he's convinced if they finish this film that it will just alleviate all the bad luck and everything. So he convinces Tristan and Montserrat to help him do that. And then they do, and bad things start to happen. So that's what it's about. It's a really cool premise. It's a really crappy book. There's mine. She liked it.
I mean, was it the best book that I've ever read? No. Was it the best Silvia Moreno-Garcia book? No. Not by a long shot. But I didn't hate it. I mean, it was okay. I think I'm going to end it at a 3-star.
I'm still deciding between 1 and 2. I really did not like this book. I slogged through this book. I was so ready for this book to end. I would have DNF'd this book had I not had to read it for book club.
What?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Absolutely.
I saw on Goodreads. So I was looking on Goodreads because I like to look at other people's reviews and stuff too, and how they rate it. And this book was one that people either hated or they loved. There really wasn't a whole lot of in between people. And I saw that you had marked it red, but you hadn't rated it yet. And I'm like, oh God, she hated it. I knew coming in, I'm like, she did not like this book.
He did not like this book. Not at all, which we'll get into.
That's wild to me. I was teetering between a 3 and a 4.
Really?
For this book. Yeah.
But see, that surprises me because there was no action in this book at all.
There were some. I think more so for me, the reason why I didn't hate it was because of all of the other references and things that were in the book. So Montserrat, she was very into horror and like old-timey horror movies, and like I related to her on so many things, like her interest in horror and all of the talk about like Freddy Krueger and like all of the old movies like Nosferatu and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I relate to that so much, and I just loved her passion for that.
I think too many of the movie references were Mexican.
There were quite a few.
Because I didn't get it. I mean, I was like, okay, well, apparently that is a Mexican horror film. And I'm okay, fine, sure, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. I think this book definitely is one that would be better received by somebody who is more like Spanish American, because there is a lot of Spanish Mexican,
or who knows, who spent a lot of time in Mexico,
right? Like has the knowledge of that history.
Being in the 90s, there's a lot more pop culture references, and I bet 90% of them are Mexican oriented. Like they, you know, filmed in Mexico, made in Mexico, you know, TV from Mexico, where if you know that, you could probably pick up on that. But I didn't, and so I didn't care, and so I was like, there's a lot of references in this book, a lot. She talks about it a lot, and so if you don't care or don't get any of that, there's probably a good quarter of the book where you'll just skim. I wish I just skimmed it, but I kept reading because I thought, well, I better pick up on a clue or something that's coming.
No, there wasn't anything in this book like that was like clues leading up to how it was going to go. Like all of the references and all of the background information and the research and all that, like it didn't really actually pertain to what was happening. Like there were a lot of things that got started and nothing was finished, or a lot of ideas that weren't fleshed out, and it was just like all this info dumping just because like, oh, I have to throw this in here because it's Mexico City in the 90s.
Well, I wondered if it was her trying to set up
the scene,
you know, do a setting, and if it didn't work. And I mean, I got more of a feel for a setting when they were talking about the holidays and what they should be doing. Like they should be walking down the street and going to get tamales and, you know, that kind of thing. If you don't get the pop culture references, it doesn't mean anything. So there was that. And then part of me was like, okay, Silvia Moreno-Garcia learned about film, and she was going to tell us all what she learned.
I honestly wonder.
Didn't care.
I wonder if she actually does have like a pretty big passion for like old film and like horror. Like I wonder if she just used this book as a way to like share her passion that she already had with readers, because
I don't know.
It kind of is almost what it felt like to me. It was like somebody just like word vomiting about something that they love. Like, you know, like all of her interests in like the old horror and old film and like all of that, and like maybe even bringing in some things from like when she was growing up, like the pop culture references, just like word vomiting it all, because that's kind of what it felt like. And like I don't know why I did not hate that, but I did.
Well, and
maybe it's just because I enjoyed
in the beginning when she went into such detail about Montserrat's job and what she did. I read it because I thought it would come in at the end, and it didn't at all.
No, like everything with her job didn't really, like all of the drama and the fights and like everything. I'm like, this is pointless. Like once I got to the end, it's like none of that mattered.
No,
all of that could have been cut, because it never came back to it again and being like, oh, well, she lost her job, or now they can't get into the vault where the film. Like I thought there was something like that was going to be happening.
Yeah,
just like it didn't matter.
None of it mattered.
None of it mattered.
And so it was. It was just. I didn't care. But I mean, beyond all of that, I don't know what if I didn't know that she wrote this book, I never would have thought this was one of her books.
Really?
The writing was not good. I mean, it wasn't terrible, But there was a lot of places where it 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 was so choppy that it made me feel like it was somebody where English wasn't their first language writing in English. Like it was so sometimes over formal, and then it ended up just being really choppy. And I never would have thought, compared to the other 3 books of hers that I've read, this was not good for her. It wasn't bad writing, but it wasn't the quality that I've read from her before. So there was that. And honestly, these were some of the worst characters.
I mean, I liked Montserrat the most out of all the characters. I don't know. I have like this a special place in my heart for her just because I feel like I am her in a lot of ways.
I didn't like her.
I did not.
I didn't.
Why didn't you like her?
I don't think that there was enough, because there was so much time spent on her job and these useless facts. I don't think she was developed to the point where she was believable. I did not get why she just had this backbone of steel where she was able to stand up to this powerful ghost sorcerer guy, and it was a lot of times like she would come to these like conclusions about things, and everybody around her would be going, oh, she's right. How did she come up with that? It was like picked out of the damn blue just so she looked smart. And I didn't get it. She was not that smart. She made these stupid decisions that somehow kept turning out okay because she was so brilliant, and it wasn't. And I didn't get her friendship with Tristan. I didn't get that at all. I mean, I got a connect because they grew up together.
Right.
And, she basically stood up to, which again, really?
Yeah, that part I was like, what?
When she was younger, she had a problem with her foot. So she limped and walked with a cane and wore a brace on her leg. And she came across Tristan being bullied by like 3 older boys, and she stood up to him and ran him off.
That was very unbelievable to me. It's like,
okay,
what young boys are going to be scared of a little girl with a cane?
Which take her cane away, because it was like, take her cane away from her.
I could see them taking the cane and playing monkey in the middle with her, or like laughing at her while she falls down or something. Yeah.
But supposedly she was supposed to be this fierce, brave badass, even from a little girl. And I was like, no. And to me, she just came across as a wet blanket. I didn't like her at all. I don't think she deserved what the story was trying to make her out to be. And Tristan was just useless.
Oh my gosh, he was a jerk.
Just a whiny ass.
He did not like him at all.
There was nothing about him that was likable. The only thing I can say, I think Tristan was probably the best character by way of being the most developed. Like, you got him.
Yeah.
I got him. I got who he was. I got why he was the way he was. I got him. He was a very well-developed character, but I still didn't like him because he didn't redeem anything at the end. Because he didn't leave his best friend behind in a burning building, all of a sudden he's great?
Well, I mean, that was a big step for him, don't you know? Because he's never there for her when she needs him.
That just felt so flat for me. Because I'm like, why the hell are you friends with this person if you are just positive he left you behind in a burning building?
Right?
Why have you been friends with this person since you were a kid? Why? You just don't even think that he would try and save you from a burning building.
Yeah.
Lordy. I don't. So, yeah, the friendship fell flat. The romance was just.
The romance?
Well, it wasn't even there. It was like nothing.
Why? Yeah. Why?
It would have been fine if she just left them as friends. So they go through all of this. It's like Montserrat's had this crush on Tristan since she was a little girl, but yet you wouldn't know it at all.
Right.
Because it's never referenced.
No.
Like,
and
ever.
It's like, it's just so badly portrayed. Because, like, apparently now all of a sudden she still likes him, but doesn't like him. Like, it's like some childish thing. Because, oh my gosh, like, she's always there to take care of him, but then is, like, turning around and yelling at him, and I don't know.
Well,
like, it's just...
Yeah. She's always taking care of him, and then in the meantime, she's bitching because she's always having to take care of him whenever he's between relationships.
Which, I mean, fair, but also, like...
Quit!
Stop! Exactly! Like, if you're so tired of it and you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
And then it's like, at the very end, it's like, oh, hey, let's be together.
Yeah, it was like the most like unromantic thing. He's just like, well, we should just, why not?
Why not?
Just like, another relationship of convenience for this man who's lonely.
That was bad. That was so bad. It was so bad.
It was disgusting. Like, I did not like it at all.
Yeah, no. There was not enough ghosts in this book. So, like, the whole premise of the book is that bad things are happening to them after they did this movie. They didn't even do the movie until almost halfway through. And then, so Tristan is supposedly seeing the ghost of his dead girlfriend, which he does exactly twice. And there is a dark figure following Montserrat around, which happens exactly 3 times. And that's it. And then the end happens. Oh, and then Tristan's a necromancer. Okay. Sure. They get powers because they finished this movie.
But they didn't finish the movie, did they?
Mm-hmm. Because it was only apparently that one clip of the film that was supposed to be finished. It made no sense.
It didn't make
because they never
make sense.
They
because
never
never put it all together. They just played the scene. They just made a copy of the film.
Right.
And that's finishing the movie?
Yes, because it had to be dubbed. It had been acted and filmed, but there was no sound to it. So it had to be dubbed. But they never actually finished the movie because the movie itself was never finished.
Yeah.
So it was just this one scene that had to be done. So that was the thing. So yeah. I don't know. There wasn't enough. There just wasn't enough. There was a lot of running around that didn't have to do with anything. And there just wasn't enough. Oh my God, they were supposed to be haunted, and he was haunted like twice. And then the third time he summoned her so he could lay her to rest.
That part was really stupid.
It was.
It was so stupid.
It was.
It was just like 2 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it was so uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like this is like a big
like
moment. Okay, like this guy has spent 10 years carrying the not even true grief because he's the only reason he's upset is because of how her death made him look. And all of this stuff. So like he's not even like truly upset that she died and that he was like part of the reason why, like kind of like he didn't try and stop her to keep her from doing something irresponsible that led to her death. No, he just cares about how it made him look because they tried to like weave the story and turn him into the bad guy because she was sweet, innocent Karina, whatever her name was. And oh my gosh, and I was just so upset when that happened. I'm like, bro.
And the other 2 times that she'd appeared to him, she'd appeared bloody, and they were in a car accident, so with glass everywhere.
this.
Right.
Like, and if I was her, I would be so mad. If I had the chance to come back and haunt him, I'd haunt his ass. Like,
So-
hardcore haunt him. And she was just like, she was there. And then when he summoned her, it's just like, okay, I'm sorry. Goodbye. She's gone.
I should have put flowers on your grave. I'm sorry.
You should have done a lot more than that.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be too, like, prior to that, because he made that, like, confession to Montserrat about what, you know, he was selfish about and all of this. And so I think that was supposed to signal a change so that his apology to her. But the thing was, she wasn't even haunting him. This was some stupid fallout from doing the dubbing of the film that supposedly doing that gave Tristan necromantic powers. And because he was so focused, it was the 10th anniversary, right? At the time this started, because he was so focused on remembering everything that happened and what was going on that he summoned her. So it wasn't even a haunting. It was like,
it was an accidental summoning.
It was an accidental summoning. And so, yeah, then he summoned. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that made no sense. Like, why of all the people would he be the necromancer? First of all, like,
yeah, well, because one of them had to be, I guess.
And I guess he's the only one with ghosts in his past.
I guess. I don't know. And what was so stupid too, it was like because they did this, it was supposed to like break the spell of bad luck and bring them all good luck, right? So as soon as they did it, like Abel, the director guy, got a call about somebody wanting to do a retrospective of his film career. And Tristan got an opportunity at a big part. And Montserrat's sister had cancer and she was cured basically from her cancer. Okay, right? But then things start going south. And Abel ends up being killed. And Tristan messes up his whole opportunity, and so he doesn't get anything out of that. But Montserrat's sister's just fine. And by the way, okay, so a lot of this is like Montserrat, where she works. She has a real dick of a boss who like gives all the good work to the other people and gives the leftovers to her. And then he's even been cutting her out of that. And then it gets to the point where like she doesn't get the bonus that she's expecting. And she and that was another thing. I'm like, you know that your position here is tentative. You are not getting work. She wasn't even practically working part-time at this point. And here she's like mouthing off to her boss. And it's like,
yeah,
saying stuff that we would all think, but you don't say it if you want to keep working. So basically she's out of job. She hadn't worked and they're running around spending money like nothing. Tristan doesn't work like at all, but yeah, he's got money for this nice apartment. Like, where are you getting all this money? Shouldn't she be like at some point going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose my apartment because I lost my job because I mouthed off to my boss like a dumbass.
Where's the real life stuff coming in at?
So that kind of irritated me too, because I was like, God, they were just running around just buying shit all over the place, going out to eat all the time, and damn. So there was that, and
She's
I don't know.
Really all that concerned about not having like work.
No.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either. I don't think I did that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows? But
I don't know.
I don't think that she was all that concerned about not having work when she should have been.
Yeah. Yeah. And instead,
like, if that was me, I'd be freaking out.
Well, instead, she was like all about like getting obsessed into researching this sorcerer guy that made this film, Ewers, something like that. I don't know.
Something German.
she was like obsessing over this, spending all of her time reading this little book on magic and running around trying to research it instead of working on something or trying to even get a job.
Find a job.
Like, okay, well, whatever. But this was not like a short time frame either. I mean, this happened over like a month. At some point, wouldn't you be a little worried? I don't know. It just, the whole thing and the whole plot, even what there was of it, was just not well done. It wasn't fleshed out. It didn't make sense. It made my head hurt. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. The only reason that I'm waffling between a 1 and a 2 is that the things that did have to do with the hauntings, that's where the writing was good. You know, that first time when she first encountered him after Abel was killed, and when she was describing that darkness and that silence, and that was creepy. It was creepy. And then it just didn't go anywhere. But when it hit, it was pretty good. And I do think that it was like the further they got in and the more that Montserrat did, messed around with magic, the stronger that this guy became. Because it was like, okay, so they dubbed it, but there was something about, you had to put the two, there was the original and there was the copy. You had to kind of put them together and then like do a magic spell kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
In order to complete the process, complete the spell. And so in the meantime, he's caught in this like limbo, not alive, not dead, this limbo area. So he gets stronger the more that they mess around. And so that kind of progression of him getting stronger was pretty good. It was just that there wasn't enough of it. There just wasn't enough. I mean, and when they went and trashed Tristan's apartment, but yet they were just fine at Montserrat's.
Right, that was another thing that I thought was weird. I'm like, okay, like why would they have to know where both of them live. Like,
yeah,
given the fact of like they have the people that were hunting for them, like they have magic powers and they know all this other stuff, and like Tristan just moved to this apartment not long ago, so he's the newest tenant, and Montserrat's been living at her place for
years.
So like she's more established. Like you'd be able to find her first, I'm sure, and find her easier.
Yeah. And they were obviously being followed around, so they had to know they were together and going to Montserrat's apartment.
I would assume, like, you don't find them at one, though. You're gonna be at the other one, and like divide and conquer.
Yeah, it was just like stuff like that. It was not a well put together book. I just didn't think so. But again, I am waffling because when the stuff was happening, when the actual plot stuff was happening, it was good. But all the in between stuff, like running around and trying to find the original trio, that it had to be 3, whatever. The original trio of people that were involved in this movie, and Abel was one of them. Well, okay, no, it wasn't, because there was 4. This book made my head hurt. Because it was like, well, there had to be 3. But then there was Abel, there was the Ewers guy, Wilhelm. How about that?
Yeah.
There was him, there was Claramonda, and then there was Alma and Jose that were all involved in this. But I guess there was only 3 of them on film, so I guess that was, anyway, they were trying to track down these people, and whenever they did the interviews, they were just kind of dumb. Anyway. But when the actual supernatural stuff was happening, that was when I thought it was good.
I really like that.
The big ink dogs. That was pretty creepy. That when she went to that first abandoned building, and that's where I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You are a horror show fanatic, and you're like doing every single thing that the people who get killed do. What are you doing?
Well, she's so tough. Like she.
Oh, apparently,
you know,
nothing touches her.
Fear gives people power over you, or whatever. So she's
Yeah.
not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Fear gives others power over you. I
Yeah.
think that was. I don't know.
Yeah. So I know he wants me to be afraid, so I'm not.
Because it's just a switch that you can flip on
Oh.
and off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like this book.
That's all very fair. I honestly feel like having to read it, because I read this book in less than 24 hours because I had to.
Oh, I was like, oh my gosh.
I started it yesterday evening about 9:30, and that was part of why I was late. I finished it at 2:30 today.
Oh, wow.
So I think reading it quickly helped me like it better, because I didn't I wasn't sitting there being like, oh my gosh, this is so slow. I'm just trying to read it fast. Because a lot of the reviews I saw, they're just like, this book is such a slow burn and it's so slow and all this. I'm like, I'm not getting this at all. Like, how? And I'm over here just like, okay.
Yeah, because you skimmed half of it.
I did it. I skimmed the ending. I skimmed the ending when all the stuff was happening. But I read the whole first 75% of the book, 80%. I read everything.
It was slow. It was slow. Like I said, it was dang near halfway before they even got to the movie part. And that should have been your inciting incident right the hell up front. And the whole backstory on Abel and the movie and the German dude.
It was very confusing.
One long info dump. He was, sit down, children, and let me tell you a story. And then he gets to almost the end to the actual important stuff, and then he wouldn't want to say anything else. You've been talking for the last 2 hours, and now you don't want to, what? But it was written down totally. And I'm like, you didn't need to know it. And then there was a part where she finds a letter that was she finds a letter. We won't even talk about how she found the letter, but she found a letter that was written by this guy detailing his life story. How convenient. That then was supposed to be written to his lover.
But why would he be writing that to his lover?
I know, right? Exactly.
That was the thing that I couldn't understand, because he was writing it to her, and I'm like, okay, this isn't an autobiography. What does she shouldn't she already know this? Or why does she care? Nothing about how I love you, I miss you, I'm doing this for us, and I want to be with you forever, and blah 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 blah. No, or, it's just
keep my.
I was part of the Navy for the Nazis, and whatever. Yeah. I don't even know.
It was this total biography from the time he was a little boy, and that went on for 2 pages.
It was so long. I did skim that because I'm just this is pointless. Why am I reading this right now? Why am I reading this?
And it was so funny because so he was a German Nazi. So, I mean,
it was longer than 2 pages.
Was it longer than 2 pages? God, I don't even know.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages long.
But it was on 2 tiny pieces of paper because his handwriting was so tiny.
There's no way. And also, his lover is old now, because she ain't gonna be able to read that without a magnifying glass. Sheesh.
And it was
No.
And the thing is his girlfriend was like the one who was keeping up the cult and getting new followers and all of this. And so it wasn't instructions for her to,
No, like what to do.
And why did he write it in the book that she didn't have?
Well, even in that book, like I don't know, it just didn't. I mean, it made sense for it to be in that book because it was like his whole, all of his ideals and like how the magic worked, like his magic of what he thinks. But it
wasn't her copy of it because she had a copy because she kept printing new copies. It was in Abel's copy. What?
It makes no sense.
And why did he hide it? I know why she put it in there. Because it's supposed to explain how he got his powers.
Right.
And nobody cares how he got his powers. Case Montserrat basically already decided that she knew because she'd been reading his book and all of this traveling that he did and how he just basically stole from other cultures and stuff, and then decided that if any other culture had any power, it was because they must be descended from the Aryans in the first place. So it could have been so much better because there was the Nazis, there was the, supreme bloodlines, there was...
and that stuff was just like trickled in there. It wasn't even like really fleshed out. It was just like Nazis. Moving on. Like and all this stuff. And I'm like...
what's the word for the, like, not mixing the bloodlines or finding the bloodlines that are... I can't think of the word right now. But anyway, that was in there. It was in Mexican Gothic, too. It was a big part of Mexican Gothic. It's a much better book. And I don't know. It was like, of course, if you're the... And not just white. You had to be the right kind of white.
Mm-hmm.
Being the supreme beings. And then figuring out, like, he had gone to somewhere in Central America and saw this like old Indian dude doing magic and having power. And then so he decided he must have been descended from some like Incan or Aztec, because those people were actually created by ancient Aryans who were actually survivors from Atlantis. I think it would have been, and maybe that was. I don't know.
It wasn't.
I mean, the Nazis had some really strange ideas on the occult stuff, so maybe they did have that. I don't know, but I don't know. It was just, all of that was so unnecessary. Half the stinking book was not necessary. And it didn't, for me anyway, it didn't help build an atmosphere.
No.
It just didn't. So
no, because anytime we would actually start going somewhere, we would just like leave immediately. So there was never a chance for you to be like feel like you're in the setting or anything like that, because it didn't give you a chance.
No.
It was all very short little clips of things. Yeah. Almost like a movie film, but like just not finished. That's what it felt like, an unfinished film.
Yep. I don't know. The ending was, for me, the best part of the book, but because, stuff actually happened and things did kind of come together. But at the same time, it was just like, I just wanted more out of it. It just basically was like Montserrat being the badass, standing up to the bully and saying, nah, I ain't gonna let you come back. It really didn't. And Tristan not running away and
Tristan, though.
Not running away and abandoning his friend in a burning building, which was apparently some great big deal. I don't know. And through the whole thing, you never felt any chemistry between the two of them. None.
No, not an ounce.
None. And yet, they're at the end. They're going to be a couple. They're going to move in together. They're going to.
It was just so wrong.
And they were in their almost 40s. They were like the late 30s, almost 40 years old. And I never got the sense that they were that old.
No.
Never.
The only time that you would have known that they were that old is the like little mentions of like, oh, I have wrinkles now, or like I don't.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like we're not as young as we think, or like we've aged. Like, I don't know.
But they didn't act.
No.
They didn't. They
were
didn't
very
act
immature.
Like yeah.
In the way that they acted. Like.
Yeah. Because you would think,
especially with Montserrat going off like at her job, like yelling at her boss, like that's
just
something that a
gonna
20-year-old would do.
Yeah, that's just what I was
But
saying.
like someone who knows that they need to be financially stable, especially since they have a sister that they want to help with all of the medical bills and everything. Like she needs this job. So
and she was practically only working part-time anyway.
Yeah.
And where she got the money for an apartment to help her sister with her treatments,
I have no idea.
I don't know either. There was just, and then like it was when she went to the guy's house to try and find out Jose's address or something, because this guy dealt in memorabilia and he had offered her a script that he said he could get the writer to authenticate. And the writer was who she was looking for. So she went to this guy and had been already established that he was a creep, that he tried to come on to her before. So when Tristan asks her if she wants him to go with her, she says, nah, I'm good. If he does anything, I'll just kick him in the balls.
Yeah. Great plan.
Okay. So she goes and like he gets, I don't know, implies through a little flirtiness. And she just basically says, no, don't mess with me. And he's like, oh, okay. And that was it.
It was so dumb because there is not... It wouldn't have gone down that way.
It wouldn't have. And it just like...
And she wouldn't have got what she wanted.
No.
Because the way that it would have realistically happened is... He would have kept coming on to her. She would have kicked him in the balls or whatever. And then he would have got so pissed off that he either might have beat her or thrown her out.
Yeah. Because she was alone.
Yes.
And that was the other thing. It was like, she was so rude.
She was very rude.
Like Tristan would offer
everybody.
Yeah, Tristan would offer to help her. And she'd be like, no, I don't need anyone's help.
When she was always
I don't need you.
Granted, Tristan didn't have like the best track record.
No.
But she was always like talking down to him or like being so mean to him, being like, you can't do anything right. Like, I don't want your help because I know that you can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you at this, at everything. Yeah. And like I don't need you. You need me, but I don't need you.
Mm-hmm. I think she actually said that at one point.
She did. And I'm like, that is first of all, a terrible thing to say to anybody, let alone someone that's supposed to be your friend / someone that you love and care about. Because I'm not getting that right now at all.
No.
It's like, honey,
no.
Take it down a notch.
Yeah, it's no. Like, and I mean, I got that she was like fed up with him because he had just broken up with this like gotten out of this relationship. And she was like, well, every time then he comes back to me and wants attention from me. And he always asks me for rides and me to do this. So I get her being fed up with that.
Right.
But at no point was that even addressed until like closer to the end. But yet she was still like treating him like crap through this whole thing. And he was just like, oh, well, whatever. You would think, wouldn't you think that at some point, two people who've known each other for that long, that he would be going like, what the hell, Momo?
Right. Like, for real. Like, there was never...
What the hell? What's your deal, Momo?
Yeah, there was never a moment where they're just like, why are you acting this way? Or like...
Yeah.
Like, there was no communication. It was just like, oh, F you, bye. And then everything's fine the next time they see each other. But, like, secretly, I still hate you a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you that I'm fed up with your shit because why would I do that, And there was like no like I don't know if she was just trying to be like such a independent badass bitch all the time that she couldn't accept anyone else's help. But like if that was like there was nothing in her backstory to lead me to believe that she was that way.
Mm-mm.
Like there was nothing there.
No.
It was just like she just was rude and mean.
She was. Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like her. Didn't like the character.
That's fair.
Didn't like her.
I liked her interest in horror. And I liked her ability to, or I liked the fact that she enjoyed being alone. But everything else, she's not a good character.
I don't think she enjoyed being alone. I don't think she did. I think she said she did.
I think she liked to be needed, liked to be wanted.
Yeah, I think she liked it that Tristan always needed her, no matter
and
what
that's probably
she said.
why she never actually cut him off and like did what someone would have done, because she liked knowing that he would always come back to her. It was a codependency.
It was
very a codependent relationship.
Yes. But I don't think she liked being alone.
One.
I think she liked it whenever Tristan broke up with somebody and came crawling back to her. Because I don't think she did like to be alone.
That's fair. He hated being alone more than she did.
He could not be alone. She could be alone, but he could not. But I don't think that she liked it. I think she liked it when he came crawling back.
That's fair.
Maybe that was one of the reasons that she was always so mean to him, letting him know just how useless he was so that he would continue to need her.
Like reverse psychology? I don't...
Like abusive? I don't know.
Stockholm syndrome.
I don't know. I just didn't. They were not good together, and
it was toxic codependent relationship.
There was no romance in this at all. And except at the end there was.
There wasn't at the end.
Came out of nowhere.
There wasn't at the end. I'm not calling that a romance.
Well, that's what it was supposed to be.
Done.
That was it. What it was supposed to be.
Well, it wasn't. It was so badly done because I was reading it and I'm like, I am still not understanding fully what's happening here and why it's happening. Because it was.
I know.
It made no sense. It made absolutely zero sense. They're just like, oh, well, I guess we could move in together. Like, we did just stop this powerful sorcerer. So now all of a sudden I think you're the one for me.
Wasn't it kind of like, something like, who else is going to put up with us kind of thing?
And the relationship of convenience.
Like, we have to be together because who else will want us? I don't know. It was just so...
How romantic.
Well, hi, George. Hi, Georges.
What did you think of the book?
He sat on it a couple times, so that was probably good.
It was comfy.
Fluffy butt. Fluffy butt. Hi. Say, can you look? Look right here and say hello. Say hello, Georgie. Looky here, George. Look. Oh, look what. Hey, is this the George show now?
Oh, you're showing your booty.
But there. Gosh, clown.
George, it's not that kind of a YouTube video.
We're not that kind of channel, George.
Save that for only pause.
That's right. Yeah. That's our side income around here.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. You convinced me. I'm at like a 2-star now. I honestly think that I hadn't just sat with a book long enough to.
Well, probably not if you just finished it.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you read it in that short of a time though, because I would have just let it go. I would have just said no, I couldn't do it. Because it took me all week to read this book. And it's what?
315 pages.
And it took me all week long because I was just, I remember looking, I think it was like, maybe my first day reading it. And I was like, dang, I've got to be like pretty close. It was like 60 pages. I went, oh my gosh. And we were still with her at work. I know, Lord. This has got to pick up at some point.
See, I just didn't notice this. I don't know what. I don't know if I just like pushed it out of my brain that it's bad because I'm like, I have to read this book and finish it. But like, I did not notice it being that slow, and notice like we weren't actually getting into the action until later. Because I think I was just so focused on you have to read, you have to finish.
Yeah,
that I wasn't like focusing on how
because the like this was
speed of the book was going. Yeah, 70 pages in would have been.
That was.
They didn't get to actually talking about the movie with Abel till here.
Until well into here.
Yeah.
Because
that was when it first kind of got brought up, and then he didn't want to talk about it until he got drunk later.
Mm-hmm. I was just trying to figure out at what point he suggested that I think it was right in here, is when he suggested.
It's almost 100 pages into the book.
Yeah.
Which that's a long way to go for a book that's about a cursed film.
And then it didn't even talk about them actually doing the work.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, it's done.
Yeah, it was like they agreed to do it, and then it
jumped.
And then it jumped to it's already done.
I was so confused at that point. I do remember that because I'm just like, wait, what? We're already here. We're spending all of this time and all this other pointless things, like her yelling at her boss, and honestly, even the backstory with her sister. I don't think that was fleshed out very well. No. And there was never a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, her poor sister.
That was just
just something thrown in there so she could have something that could then go right.
To have good luck. Exactly.
Yeah. But she didn't even need that because she had a shit job. That.
She could have gotten a new job.
Yeah.
Or more work. Or her boss could have come up with a bonus.
Why was this being thrown in there? There's no point in that. And it's like, trigger warning for no reason. Mm-hmm. You know, like, although I couldn't even consider it a trigger warning because it didn't even really go into depth about her cancer at all.
No.
Like, there was just like, oh, her sister has it. She's not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then all of a sudden, guess what? The doctor says she's fine. When her life was good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was dumb.
So yeah, it was right here, page 91. And Tristan had to talk Montserrat into doing it in the first place.
Which made no sense because she was like so into it in the beginning. Because she needed this for Enigma.
Well, yeah. And
so
then
she could actually get work and money.
Tristan's the one that he believed that they would have good luck with this. And, so what if, if it is? And she's the one that was like, nah, no, it isn't. And then she's the one that goes off the deep end with the magic. But yeah, it ends, page 91, it ends with her agreeing to do it. And then there's a break. And the second half of page 91 is that they're in the viewing room, the screening room. And it's done. And now they're looking at the movie.
Yeah.
So
up to this point, like her job was such a big part of the book. Like you would have thought that we would have been in the sound editing room with her.
Mm-hmm. As they dubbed this stuff.
Yeah.
Or because apparently that's the thing that set off the nuclear bomb.
The Silver Nitrate film is supposed to be so dangerous.
And that them doing this, them dubbing it and putting sound to the film was the thing that's like exploded into. That's why magic is now everywhere. It's exploded. You would think you'd show that in the book.
Yeah.
That maybe they got a feeling that something was happening while they were doing it.
Right. Or like even her just like a scene of her like opening up the film canister that has the film in it because it's been in his freezer since like 30 years plus.
And Silver Nitrate film is so flammable.
Yes, and like she literally made a comment about how like it could be ruined, it could be powdered. Like they made a big deal about how it might not even be doable at this point. And then all of a sudden we're just like, I did it! Here it is.
It was just like I said, there was too much about her job and how she did her job. And then there was way too much info dump on this backstory about the film. It just, there was nothing. I think that's when somebody likes our video.
Oh, maybe it is.
I think so. Hi. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it just it's just totally glossed over. It well, not even glossed over, skipped. It was skipped entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. The premise sounded so exceptionally cool, and it was Silvia Moreno-Garcia, and I was so excited to read this book, and so disappointed.
Yeah.
So disappointed. I just can't believe it just took me forever. The whole part in the beginning when she was talking about her job, I think took me an entire, like my day's worth of reading just to do that. And the more I got into it, the more I wanted to put it down. I didn't want to read it anymore. So it was such a slog to get through. But I did. So there it is.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. Anyway, not a great pick.
It happens.
It does. Should have picked a different one. Oh, well.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
We're fine. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, there was that. I have not picked our book for next week yet.
I was just getting ready to ask.
I know.
What are we picking for November?
I'm thinking Christmas. Something Christmas themed.
Oh.
I know, which is not, you weren't expecting that, were you?
I was not expecting that.
I threw a curveball.
You did.
So yeah, we might be doing some cutesy Christmas or something. I don't know. I just feel I've been reading a lot of horror lately, and I feel like I need something a little light.
Okay.
So
All right.
I don't know. We're gonna go with it.
Whatever. Whatever.
We'll see. I will announce this book sooner or next read sooner. I'm gonna try and pick it by tonight.
Okay.
I'll run it by Kelly by tonight. We'll have it picked by tomorrow and hopefully post it on Instagram.
All right.
Sometime this week.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Hey. Life's been great lately, guys.
Yeah.
We're surviving. Not thriving.
Surviving. That was this week. That is for sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay.
That was Silver Nitrate. Let us know if you read this book too. I mean, hopefully you read this book if you've watched this video. If you made it to this part.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't say it was spoilery at the very beginning like we normally do.
You should know by now that our book talks are always spoilery. But
yeah. Anyway, you would have figured that out pretty quick.
Yeah. So let us know what you rated this book. Are you also like hating it? Are you one of the people that loved it? I don't know. I want to know where you're at with us on this book. If you enjoyed watching this video, what is going on with I am just really getting into the hand motions today. It's magic. That's how I felt the magic in this book was. Anyway, if you liked watching this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, go down below the video and hit that red subscribe button. Join the Everyday Adventure family so you can see our beautiful faces every Sunday. We're working on it, okay? We lost our way in October. We're coming back around, hopefully in November and December.
We did. We were every week. Well,
no, we were not. We missed 2 weeks.
No, we didn't.
We did.
No.
No.
Because I thought we missed last week, but then you posted something like on Tuesday, but still. Yeah, our Summerween wrap up.
Yeah, there's 5 weeks in October. Is there not? Was there not?
Yeah, but we did.
We did our live.
We
had our wrap up. We had Summerween. That was it.
No.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
No. No, no.
I'm right.
No. I distinctly remember.
Not posting. Content. Look at this. Reading check-in, September wrap-up, live stream. It's all we had in October.
No.
We
just looking,
planned.
it's showing. I'm looking at how bad my hair looks. Sorry.
We planned to have more videos in October, but we didn't get around to it because we were both so busy and things were crazy. Because we were gonna buddy read that book.
Yeah,
and we were gonna go to the cat thing.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do that.
We're gonna do a Triple B video. And we didn't.
We really need to make a time to do that. I could have sworn. You know what it is? Oof. Yeah, that's true enough, isn't it? Dang. It's probably because I was so busy watching all of Amy's other content in the month of October.
What? It's almost like it was my favorite month of the year.
It must have felt like we did more because I was watching so many decorating videos, and I was watching about her Halloween party that she had.
That Kelly's always too good to attend.
I was gonna come this year. I really was.
She says this every year, and she never comes.
I was going to. It was funny because we were at dinner at Val and Jean's on Thursday, and Val asked me, she's like, "Have you ever been to one of Amy's parties?" And I was like, "No, but I think I'm going this year." And then I get home, I look at my invitation, I'm like, "Dang, it's Saturday. I can't make Saturday."
Whatever. It'll be on Saturday next year, too.
I know it's always on Saturday, but it's just like, for some reason, I was thinking I had another week in there. Anyway, we're talking about her channel. You can see all of that shopping hauls and all the decorating, the carnival theme this year. She went all out with the help of her brother and Justin. The tunnel looked amazing. So
I can't even flip my hair because I didn't do anything for that.
Yeah.
I took it down by myself.
Well, there you go.
But I didn't help put it
there
up.
You go. So, I guess I was just so busy watching all of that I thought we did more. But you can go see all of that. And you can also check out her blog as well for more content and just be a part of the entire Everyday Adventurer family. Yeah.
And of course, go follow us on social media too. I didn't say that, but
we
do have a TikTok and an Instagram at Everyday Epic Book Club.
We do.
Where we have other content that we throw up over there as well.
Yep.
Yep.
We do.
So, yeah.
So tune in over there because that's where we will announce our book club book for
November.
Yeah, this month, November.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And then join us the first Sunday in December to talk about whatever book that is and is going to be.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. We know it's going to
be nervous. Anyway.
I gotta go take care of this hair. It's driving me nuts. All right.
We just need to go.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. And I'm Amy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the Everyday Epic. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Oh, we are a mess.